President Biden kicked off the Summit of the Americas last night in Los Angeles.
That's right, but as we've reported, the presidents of Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador are not attending out of protest. They've criticized the United States' decision not to invite the leaders of Venezuela, Cuba, and Nicaragua. Those absences are complicating President Biden's push for regional unity.
As we meet again today, in a moment when democracy is under assault around the world, let us unite again and renew our conviction that democracy is not only the defining feature of American histories, but the essential ingredient to America's futures.
CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe joins us now from Los Angeles. Hi, Ed. Great to see you. So democracy, of course, was the central theme of President Biden's remarks last night. Does the White House feel that inviting Venezuela, Cuba, and Nicaragua would contradict that message?
Yes, which is why they were not invited. Look, the reality is Cuba, Nicaragua, Venezuela, leaders in those countries face U.S. sanctions. There are not full-blown diplomatic relations with those countries. And the way this summit system works, this is the 9th of the summits that have been held since 1994. The United States hasn't hosted it since the first one, is the host country essentially gets to decide who gets to attend. There have been times in the past when an American president has gone to one of these summits and either a representative of those three countries' governments is there or their president is there, and it may cause an awkward, pass by in the hallway or a shake of the hand, quick one at the big round table. But in this case, by virtue of U.S. policy towards those three countries, they decided it would be hypocritical and domestically politically problematic to have them here. That's upset some of the other members of this summit. That's why they didn't send their presidents, but they sent other ministers or lower-level cabinet officials. And yet the conversations continue with about roughly 30 countries at whatever level they've sent representatives.
Ed, will remind our viewers, the president last night also said the U.S. would, quote, enforce our borders and that, quote, unlawful migration is not acceptable. But without the leaders of Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador, how much can he actually accomplish on immigration during this summit?
Well, important to remember this, Nikki, and I was reminded of this in preparing for the summit. This isn't just about people who immigrate into the United States over the Mexican border. This is about people who leave Venezuela and the political strife there and head over into Colombia or down to Chile or over to Guyana or even to Aruba. It's people who leave Haiti from Mexico or Panama. It's people from Nicaragua fleeing the autocratic regime there to neighboring Costa Rica. And it's people from all across the hemisphere who go to Canada, which has one of the most welcoming or easiest refugee and citizenship programs for immigrants. So it's a regional issue of concern in different ways in different countries. Obviously, in this country, it's a radioactive, urgent political issue. And the fact that the leaders of the next 4 doors down, so to speak, to the south aren't here is a symbolic blow to the Biden administration as they try to deal with an issue that every summer becomes a big issue again as the weather improves and people head north. But in the view of this regional summit, they are hoping to talk about some general themes and general ways to accept refugees and make sure that countries are doing what they can to keep their citizens from being compelled to leave, even if it doesn't result in immediate action or something that's even seen as domestically acceptable in the United States. There's an understanding there's got to be a conversation about this.
Right, Ed, you make such a good point to emphasize that all of those countries in the Southern Hemisphere are dealing with migration and immigration problems of their own. We forget that, right?
Yeah.
All right,
exactly.
Ed O'Keefe in Los Angeles, thank you so much.